Buckle up, because this is a rough one. This is Johann, a male veiled chameleon that was found in Waynesville, North Carolina, about 4 hours from us. Luckily, the Good Samaritan that found him called us, and one of our very kind Facebook followers helped with transportation. Unfortunately, his condition is extremely concerning. He's missing the upper portion of his casque and all the ridges that should run along his spine. He's got this really gnarly tail wound, one of his back limbs seems to have an old fracture, and there's swelling in most of his joints. In addition, he's extremely emaciated, and his sunken-in eyes are a clear sign of dehydration, which can quickly lead to kidney problems in chameleons. While looking in his mouth, Nicole found what she thought was debris. In addition to some grass, she took out that brown speck you can see on the paper towels, which, believe it or not, was a spider. I don't think we've ever found a spider during an intake exam before. Chameleons are very susceptible to burns from strong heat lamps, which would explain the missing spines and casque. While just barely touching this limb, a good amount of pus came out. And from looking at his other limbs, we could tell that this is most definitely gout. Gout is a very painful condition that can be a sign of poor kidney function. Unfortunately, it can be very hard to treat once it's advanced. This is the limb that appears to have an old fracture, which could be linked to some level of MBD. The tail wound is also very severe, and those last couple inches are definitely going to need to be amputated. Burns can also be very dehydrating, so we started off with fluids to help with the dehydration. Next, we did a small dose of oral calcium, and then some very diluted carnivore care. This is mostly water. He is so thin that we don't want to risk giving him something called refeeding syndrome. We applied SSD to any area that looked like it may have been burned. SSD cream is a very effective treatment for burns. Finally, we finished with some antibiotics to try and fight some of that infection we saw. We will definitely be taking Johann into our vet as soon as possible. We'll be calling them first thing Monday morning. This is what our typical rescue cage for chameleons looks like. But for chameleons in critical condition, we like to use what we call a hospital bin. This puts them at the perfect distance under their BR30 flood lamp and linear UVB bulb. We're not super optimistic about this guy's chances, but we're going to do our best and keep you updated.